morning. I was told that I had to enunciate and speak loudly into the microphone. Can everyone hear me from the back? Yeah, we have better placement of our new speakers, so if you can't hear me, do some of that. Welcome. It's great to see all of you and to share this time with you. And in true Unity fashion, we're going to do some more singing.
Sun
So, good morning again. How are you? Good morning. It is a beautiful day, and very happy to be here and to share it with all of you. Even though some of us may have had to swim here, it's good to see everyone. Is there anyone here for the first time? We'd really like to welcome you, and we have a packet that we'd like to give you. Please raise your hand. Up high, no one? Then welcome again, everyone. It's good to see each other. And now we have some announcemements that we'd like to make. If you haven't been to the Wednesday Thomas Merton with Father Patrick Collins, am I off schedule? Geez, looking at me. It's fantastic. It has been wonderful the last 2 Wednesdays. Contemplative spirituality. So he is going to give his last talk this coming Wednesday, followed by, I believe, we've got A Course in Miracles, correct? Before, right. So please join us for that. And I know that he kind of briefly goes over what we've already talked about the 2 previous Wednesdays, so you won't miss too much, and it's definitely worth coming to. Am I missing? I'm probably missing some stuff. This coming Saturday, we have, we're doing our pet adopt-a-thon. Thank you. So please join us for that from 11 to 5. That's sure to be a great time. And I know that the pet shelters need some donations, so they need some supplies. So if you'd be so kind to do so, that would be fantastic as well. So I know that we're looking forward to it. And we won't be bringing the kids because we have enough pets. So, sorry guys, you didn't know that, did you?
So, good morning. I am very excited about this pet adopt-a-thon. And it will take place, just like Carrie mentioned it, this coming Saturday, starts at 11, goes until 5. We will be set up at the Beery Field, that's where the dogs will be. The cats will be here in the parking lot behind the church. So we will have dogs and cats. We do have the wisdom to separate them. Also, Patty has been baking biscuits for dogs. We will have 2 different kinds that will be beautifully packaged and available, and the proceeds will support the animal rescues. There's another friend who is also baking biscuits, so we will have biscuits. We are also talking about probably setting up a quick food stand, hot dogs or something, just for us to eat something while we are here. It is going to be a fantastic opportunity to find men's best friends' homes. We always tend to think that we rescue them, and once we had them for a while, we realize it's really the other way around. So do yourself a favor and allow yourself to be rescued by a wonderful pet. The other thing I would like to bring to your attention, in May we begin a new series, and Martin Kladnoff, our LUT licensed Unity teacher, will be teaching those classes. It is called Jesus Christ Heals. And we are also planning on starting up a healing service, a regular healing service here at Unity on the Lakeshore, and this will be the prelude to it. So I encourage absolutely every one of you to come. It is a very, very good book based on which Martin will be teaching. Martin is a very good teacher as well, so it's going to be a very good class. And Unity has grown out of healing. So this is an opportunity to reconnect with our roots, to trace back where we come from and who we still are. So please come in May. Martin is going to be teaching that class. Thank you.
And just, the kids. Oh, yeah.
We are dismissing our children. We have children today. I'm getting used to that. So Tia will be leading them downstairs to Sunday school. So I invite you, let's bless these children. So just rub your hands. Children, please stand up, okay? And we will send you off with the Unity blessing. We love you. We appreciate you. We behold Christ in you. We left one out. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, we behold the Christ in you. So with 1.5 blessings now, go and have fun and make the most of it. Thank you, Thea. see you back up here afterwards. Thank you.
And just want to share one little story with you. Last night, after dinner, I was cleaning up the kitchen, and Cambria, the middle one, said to me, "Are we going to church tomorrow?" And I said, "Yep, we are." And she said, "Oh, good." And I said, she goes, "I love going to church." So I thought that was really sweet. I just want to mention one last thing. Suzanne, you need some more volunteers, right, for choir?
I do. I'm looking for members for the choir because we're taking a little hiatus because the director needs a little break. So when I have 10 committed people or more, I will start the choir again. So if you're interested, we won't be singing as often, more like special occasions. So I won't work you so hard. So come and sing.
And I know that we have such a great sense of community here at Unity. So if you want to feel more of a part of that community, I'm sure that you can always find things for us to do, right? Okay. And now we're gonna have some special music by Suzanne.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
I chose In This Very Room because sense of community and our message.
Jesus, the Christ, who we acknowledge as our elder brother, way shower, and teacher, taught us that the kingdom of heaven is within us, represented by the Christ light. And according to his teachings, if we live from this kingdom within, then it is actually possible to live as God, experiencing individually our lives. Let's go into prayer. To say that we live as God is not arrogant or prideful. Because God is not arrogant or prideful. God is loving, God is kind, God is compassionate. God is the source. When we live from that, we bring heaven here and now. Thank you, God. And so it is.
And now if we could say together our affirmation of faith.
Every
Life, a spiritually transformed life.
The affirmation of faith.
There's I knew it was coming sometime, right? There is only one presence and one power in me and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. And now we're going to do the daily word.
Good morning. Today, it says, let go and let God. I release my concerns and trust in God. At times, I may find myself clutching a thought as a worried thought, as tightly as I might clutch a dollar bill. A hammer. My whole body may sense as my mind strikes away at an issue. My whole body may tense as my mind strikes away at an issue, searching for the answer to a problem or predicament. There is an easier way. I relax my grip and calm my thoughts. I breathe deeply and release my concerns. I do not need to try to work things out by myself, separate from God. Instead, I open the flow of God's love and guidance. Accessing infinite wisdom, perfect life, and strength within, I manage whatever needs arise in my life. Even when I think there is no way, God reveals a way. Relaxed and calm, I am attuned to divine guidance. I trust in God and move forward with confidence. And from Psalm 56, verse 11, in God I trust, I am not afraid.
Now we get to sing.
Change begins in you and me. We change the world around us when the change begins within. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. We cannot change the world we see.
So let's prepare for meditation. Most of us are familiar with how to do that. I invite you to relax into your seat. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Take a deep, cleansing breath and exhale completely. Gently move your attention towards your center. To that holy place, that sanctuary where God is. Take another deep breath now. And exhale again completely. Going even deeper into this peace. And now I invite you to take a flight with me up above this sanctuary. Observe the surrounding community with its beauty, its vegetation, wildlife, and water. Moving even farther now and higher, we observe the entire region with its beauty and life. And even farther now, we are enabled to see our beautiful planet, the blue orb. And even farther now, into the darkness of space and time and vastness. God is here. Soak up the silence. We are part of this universe. And now bring your attention back to our planet. This beautiful blue orb with 7 billion of us. That is a number that is incomprehensible to the human mind, but it is not beyond God's mind. 7 billion, each a unique expression of God's life and love. And God saw the earth that he had made and knew that it was good. And he blessed it. And we bless it. And now we bring our attention back to the sanctuary, to our body temples, to the present. And after taking a few gentle breaths, we gently open our eyes and become present. And so it is.
Ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Here we are, perfect in our imperfection, and all lovely, and all is well just the way it is. I thank you all for coming. My name is G. Ludwig. I'm the minister here at Unity and the Lakeshore, and I'm delighted that you chose to come and celebrate with us on this beautiful sunshiny day. The warmth is surely missing yet, but it's on its way. And I am grateful for every single one of you who contribute to create this perfectly imperfect celebration of ours, where we come together in love, in acceptance, and in complete beauty. And I thank you, Suzanne, for your music, and Chris as well. Chris will be blessing us in a little bit with special music. And thank you, Carrie, for leading us on the platform, and Sandy for reading the daily word, and Martin for, in 2 words, summarizing the entire of my message. So really, there's no need for me. His prayer said it all. And Jim, thank you for manning the AV. And I'm especially thankful to Bill Lundy. and Gordy, his friend, they came in on Wednesday and they installed these new speakers. They installed the new amplifier, so now we have once again sound in the house. And I'm very grateful for that. They did a beautiful job as well. We removed the small speakers. We will fill up the holes, and the whole church soon will get a paint job. So gratitude for moving the chi and for beautifying our lovely space. This past week felt very long to me. It felt like forever. And maybe because I was glued to the TV for a couple of days. Maybe because I dealt with pain, I dealt with sorrow, I dealt with bafflement. I can't understand. I can't comprehend. I can't take it in. How is this possible? How can you possibly drop a bag of explosive, let alone at the feet of an 8-year-old? How can you do that? How is that possible? So it was a week of forgiveness. And also this whole series that we have been involved in this entire year, and in fact we began at the end of last year, where we discussed the sinful texts of the Bible, the horrible texts of the Bible, those that contributed to so much pain. And I am convinced that the horror of this past week is nothing different than the whole sense of separation that has come out of our misunderstanding of our holy scriptures, whether it is Islam, whether it is Christian, whether it is Hindu, you name it. We all tend to misunderstand and misrepresent our sacred literature. And then we end up behaving in ways that certainly do not lend to a life lived more abundantly. We have talked about the earth. We started with Genesis, the book of Genesis, the story of creation, and how we misunderstood that, and that resulted in us abusing our planet, abusing the animal kingdom, abusing each other. Then we talked about the Bible and women, how that misunderstanding led to not just the physical, biological separation of the sexes, but of a domination of women, which we have been rectifying throughout history, but there's still so much work to do. Then we have talked about the Bible and homosexuality, and how that led to tremendous pain, cause for suicide, sense of separation. Once again, that is the common thread, the sense of separation. And persecution. Then we talked about the Bible, and I can't remember all of a sudden what else, but we talked about the whole Bible and the terrible texts. So allow me to recap just a little bit, because I have told you that I am going to walk you through some terribly dark texts and dark stories of the Bible, but I promised that I will end, and this is the ending of our series. I will end with a new vision that may not necessarily include religion, but by all means, it includes God and you and I. So allow me to walk you through just a little bit. From the very, very beginning, when humanity just appears on this planet, and then about 50,000 years ago, when we crossed this anxious boundary between consciousness and self-consciousness. And just about that time, language appears. And it is then, I believe, that we start registering at a level of consciousness, when we develop self-consciousness. And then we look around, and the world back then, for every individual, was so small. It just included the very physical boundaries within which they moved. They knew only two kinds of people: those who were part of their tribe, of their clan, and those who were different. And they tended to look at those who were different with anxiety, with fear. They perceived them as dangerous. So in the small world, where everything seemed overwhelming, where understanding how come that one moment the sun is up and then it's the moon, and what makes it happen so sometimes the sun is up and sometimes the moon is up, and what creates the wind and the storms, and how come the rivers flow, and how come the trees have leaves and then sometimes they don't. Understanding all that created a sense of insecurity. And in the sense of insecurity, survival became the strongest value. So everything was aimed towards survivalism. So we learned to cooperate with each other, because we understood if we cooperate, then our chances to survival are better, are bigger. And then we started being able to tell the past from the present and anticipate the future. So all of a sudden we're people who live in the boundaries of time. We have a history now, and we certainly have a future as well. But then every life ends. So there is this finite feeling to our lives. And how do we deal with that? So survivalism becomes an even stronger instinct and value. And it is all aimed, everything we do is aimed to sustain us. And then, of course, we start thinking of God. There is a God, surely, who controls the rivers, who controls the tide, who controls daylight, controls rain and night. And in this tribal consciousness, the image of God is also tribal. We perceive God as the one who favors us. We are the chosen ones. And everybody that is not us is the enemy of ours, and it is the enemy of God. This God that the Old Testament describes rejoices when the Egyptians die in the Red Sea. This God that is described in the Old Testament, which comes out of this very tribal consciousness, is a God who rejoices in the killing, in the massacring of children and women of tribes that are other than Jews, than Jewish, than the Israelites. God is created at the level of consciousness where the people are. So our sacred literature describes a tribal God with a tribal consciousness. And then the prophets come in and they start talking of a different God. With Amos, the prophet Amos, we see a loving God. With Hosea, oh my goodness, enters a forgiving God. You see, we travel and we are elevating, our consciousness is elevated, and out of that comes a different picture of God that is presented to us. But of course, if you keep looking and freezing truth at that level of tribal consciousness, and you are trying to apply that frozen truth in a long away time, that worked in a long away time, and try to apply it to here and today, that's crazy making. That doesn't work anymore, because we are at a totally different place. So in comes Jesus. And he is, of course, a product of his own culture. He comes out of the Jewish tradition. He knows this tribal God all too well. He is educated. He knows all the writings of the Torah. He knows them well. He knows all the laws. He's familiar with all the limitations. And then he comes in and offers a totally different picture. He offers the possibility of a different life. And he does it by living it. And the people who live around him and experience him, to them it's so big. This experience is so overwhelming, so big, they don't know what to do with it, nor do they have language to capture it. So they say things like, he had a magical birth, and then he had a magical ascension, and death could not capture him, death could not hold him. He overcame death. But what is really the meaning of all that they say? Who is this guy, and what is that experience that they are trying to describe? You see, the problem is that when we try to verbalize, to describe an experience, all we can do is point to that experience, but we can never truly capture it. So, Jesus says, forget about the words, forget about the letter that kills you. Look at the experience, look at the spirit, that's what makes you alive. But the church said, we have the corner on salvation. And we hold the doorway to God. We are the only ones of all the multitude of nations and all the multitude of religious and spiritual paths. We are the ones who have the corner on salvation and stand at the doorway to God. Because that's what comes out of a tribal consciousness where a sense of security is more important than anything else. But then consciousness changes. In comes Jesus and changes it all. But it's hard to change consciousness. It is hard to change at all. How many of you are resisting computers today? It's hard to change. Life is different than we were when we grew up. You know, especially, I come from a world that is still at least 50 years behind the United States today. Imagine when we were growing up in Transylvania, that was even worse. So I have come almost from the Stone Ages to today, to the latest technology, to the latest, highest, most developed world. And I remember growing up, I knew the name of every single car and the make of it and the type of it, and I don't know them anymore. And then I remember when I was able to keep up with computers to a greater extent than I am today. And I was able to keep up with programs. And I knew when a new program was coming up and what it could offer me. And I don't know that anymore. And when somebody tells me about it, I just want to say, enough. I just can't take it in anymore. So imagine when you have lived, you have believed a certain way, you have been told that God is this paternal figure, patriarchal paternal figure up there who chooses to favor some people and not others, who chooses to punish some and not others. And you know this because this is what you've been told, what you've been taught, and then someone else comes in and says, not true. Absolutely not true. Your God image is skewed. It's outdated. It doesn't work anymore. What do? You say, wait a minute, I have lived my life like this. I can't just change. I can't just believe, so what do? If we have a hard time taking in the message, we ridicule the messenger. Well, the message has changed. Jesus has given us a completely different message. He said, Man wasn't created, and woman, humanity wasn't created for the Sabbath. Sabbath was created for humanity. So if I choose to pick grain, I shall pick grain. Then he healed the leper, he touched the leper, he said, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that can make you despicable in my eyes. There is no such thing as untouchable. Then Philip goes later and he baptizes the eunuch, which goes against the Torah that says that any male who's not perfect, who's not complete, cannot enter the Lord's presence. And he goes on and baptizes the eunuch and says nothing is rejectable in the eyes of God. And maybe that's why Mark places a Gentile soldier to the cross when Jesus is crucified and puts the words in his mouth, surely he must be the Son of God. And then we went ahead and created a creed around that Jesus was God. When in fact, what if this soldier was referring that God is internal? I am recognizing God in this person. He was the one who broke through all these boundaries and made God visible. He was the one who helped us understand that God and human are just the two sides of the same coin. He was the one who said that you are the bearers of God, of the God image. Now go and be gods to one another. And that's exactly what Martin said in his prayer. That it is not arrogant to say that you are God, for God is not arrogant. Jesus invited us into a life that is more abundant. More abundant meaning he rejected laws and rules that made no sense, that limited one's life experience. He gave us a vision so large that can embrace the entire humanity, that can acknowledge other walks of faith, that can acknowledge paths that lead to God that are different than ours and celebrate them. And when we can't do that, that's when we blow up people. When we say that my way is the right way, it's the only way, then we end up feeling such a sense of alienation and separation from one another that we can blow up each other. And Jesus said, forget about all that. Live life and live more abundantly out of these man-created boundaries that limit life experience, that do not affirm life. So, I am offering you a new vision. A new vision that I have mentioned before may not necessarily include religion. For I believe that religion, the time of religion has come and it shall pass. I offer you a new vision, one that probably Jesus was one of the first ones to introduce to us, that you are God. And go into that experience. Instead of going to creeds, going to beliefs that have been set up through the centuries by the defenders of the faith. Go into that experience that the gospel writers wrote out of. And examine that experience, because that's where God is, that's where you are. That's where life is, that's the source of life. That's the source of light. That's the source of abundance. That's the ground of all being. So I offer you a new vision, where you know beyond the shadow of the doubt that you are God and so am I. And then experience and figure it out. How can you live a life more abundantly? Be brave and courageous in examining rules that religions have set. And if you establish that they do not affirm life, let them go. Do not keep them alive, because that's just a pious way of wasting time and energy when you try to resuscitate beliefs that don't work and have no life in them anymore. So let them go. Be free. Be free to live, to love, and to be everything that you can be, without the limitations that often religion offers, that often we impose on each other. And understand that regardless of how we come to God, how we come to love, it's okay. Because when we don't understand that, when we don't respect that, we blow each other up. And that can be no more. Do not ever justify prejudice anymore with the Bible. If you want to discriminate against women, do not justify it with the Bible, just say it. I just don't care for women's rights. Have the courage to say that. If you want to discriminate against gays and lesbians, homosexuals, just say it. I just really don't want these gays to have the same rights that I enjoy. But don't justify it with the Bible, because it's not right, it's not there, it's not justifiable with the Bible. If you want to diminish another human life in any way, don't justify it with God. Don't justify it with the Bible or any other religion out there. Just say, that's what I want to do. I'm interested in diminishing another human life. Have the courage to say that. Or else, live and live abundantly. And never diminish another human life in any way, shape, or form, regardless of how they show up in your life. Whether they are handicapped, whether they are women, different gender, different race, different sexuality. I offer you that new vision. I offer you that new burning love. I offer you this abundant life, where we truly learn to love each other and forgive each other and have a future on this planet and have it abundantly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your words allow me, I think, to live my life more abundantly. So thank you very much. Now we'll do our offertory affirmation. So if we could say that together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am thankful. Now we get to have Chris.
Thanks.
positive energy that they represent, and dedicate them to the continuation of the work we do here. Bless the givers, bless the gifts. Thank you, God. Amen.
Let us all stand and say the prayer for protection and then sing the peace song. The light of God surrounds us